Hey, what if I told you there's a completely different way to play the whole game of money? A way to build real, lasting wealth and unlock a life of financial freedom. Now, this isn't about some get-rich-quick scheme. It's about a fundamental shift in how you see and use your money. Okay, let's dive right in. Take a good look at this. Does this feel familiar? This is what a lot of people call the rat race. It's that endless treadmill of work, sleep, repeat. You're working harder and harder, but somehow you never really seem to get ahead. The view just never, ever changes.
But here's the good news. That wheel, it is not your destiny. There is a way out, and in this explainer, we're going to lay out the exact map to get you there. So how do we actually escape the rat race? Well, it doesn't start with a winning lottery ticket or some lucky break. Nope, it all starts right up here, in your head, with a critical change in perspective. So what's the big secret? It's really not about how much money you make. It's about what you do with the money you have. See, the wealthy approach this game with a completely different set of rules. And this right here shows that difference perfectly. On the left, you see how it works for most people. Income from a job flows straight out to expenses. It's a one-way street to being broke. But look at the right. For the rich, income flows into an asset column. Things like stocks, real estate, businesses. And that column then generates more income. The money starts working for them, not the other way around.
So this is the absolute key you need to understand. An asset puts money in your pocket. A liability takes money out of your pocket. It is that simple. The entire game is to spend your life acquiring assets, not liabilities. Your house? Well, if you're paying a mortgage every month, it's taking money out of your pocket. It's a liability. But a rental property where the tenant's rent covers the mortgage and pays you extra, now that is an asset.
And here it is, the whole mindset shift in one single sentence. Most people, they get their paycheck, they pay their bills, buy some stuff, and then maybe they save whatever's left over. The wealthy, they flip that script completely. They get paid, and the very first bill they pay is to themselves by investing their money. They live off what remains after that.
Okay, now let's talk about the engine that's going to build all this wealth for you. If there is one single force in the universe that can grow your money more than anything else, it's this right here, compound interest. Einstein supposedly called it the eighth wonder of the world for a reason. Put simply, it's your money making babies, and then those babies grow up and make their own babies. You're earning interest not just on your initial investment, but on the growing pile of interest it's already generated. This creates this incredible snowball effect that, yeah, it starts small, but over time, it becomes a literal avalanche of wealth. Now, this chart tells an absolutely incredible story. Look at Jack. He starts investing at age 25. He only invests for 10 years and then stops completely, never puts another dime in. Now, look at his friend Blake. Blake waits until he's 35 to start, and he invests for 30 straight years. That's 3 times as long as Jack. But because Jack started just a decade earlier, his money had way more time to compound, and he ends up with, well, a lot more wealth. That's the difference. Over $1 million. That is the price Blake paid for waiting just 10 years. It shows that time, not timing the market, is your greatest ally. Look, the best day to start investing was yesterday, but the second best day? That's today. All right, so if you're fired up and ready to start, what do you actually do? Well, you need the right tools, right? The vehicles that are going to put your money to work. Let's look at a few of the most powerful ones you can use. First up, let's talk about the Roth IRA. Just think of it like a special savings account where your money grows completely tax-free, and you can pull it out in retirement, also tax-free. It's amazing. And for a really simple hands-off approach, you can invest in something inside your IRA called a target date fund. It just automatically adjusts your investments to be safer as you get older. Set it and forget it. Next up, the 401k, which you might have through your job. It's awesome because it automates your saving right from your paycheck. But listen to me, here is the golden rule. The most important feature is the employer match. If your company offers to match what you put in, that is a 100% return on your money, instantly. It is free money. I'm going to say it again, free money. Do not leave that on the table.
And what about jumping into stocks? First off, forget trying to be a day trader. That's a losing game for pretty much everyone. Instead, think like an owner of the actual businesses you're investing. You can start super easily with things called ETFs or index funds, which basically give you a tiny piece of hundreds of companies all at once. The strategy is simple: buy and hold for the long term. Real estate is another powerhouse asset. The absolute key here is to only borrow money to buy things that will make you money. A great strategy is to use a special loan to buy a duplex or a fourplex. You live in one of the units and you rent out the others. Your tenants are now paying your mortgage for you, and you're essentially living for free while building equity in a super valuable asset. Okay, so these big investment ideas are great, but financial freedom is also built day by day with small, simple habits that make a huge difference over time. Let's talk credit cards. They can be your best friend or your absolute worst enemy. The rules to keep them on your side are simple. 1. Use them like a debit card, for needs, not wants. 2. Pay the entire balance off every single month, no exceptions. And 3. Keep your usage low. Do this and you'll build a great credit score that will save you thousands on future loans. Now, before you go all in on investing, you need a safety net, an emergency fund. This is your defense against all of life's crazy curveballs. Start with a quick goal of just $500. Then build that up until you have 3 to 6 months of your essential living expenses covered. And don't just let it sit in a regular checking account. Put it in a high-yield savings account where it can at least try to keep up with inflation. And this right here might be the most surprising and important insight of all. What do you think most millionaires drive? A Ferrari? A Lamborghini? Nope. The top 3 car brands are Toyota, Honda, and Ford. This says everything you need to know. They don't waste money trying to look rich. They use their money to actually become rich. So we've covered the mindset, the engine, the tools, and the daily habits. All that's left now is the single most important step of all. And that's taking action. Your future self is practically begging you to begin this journey today. So I'll ask you the question straight from our source material. The poor spend first and save what's left. The rich invest first and spend what's left. Which one are you? And more importantly, which one will you choose to be starting at this very moment? You have the map. You have the tools. You absolutely can escape the rat race and build a life of real financial freedom. The only thing missing is your first step. The time to start isn't next year or next month or even tomorrow. The time is now.